Yeah, are you want to do Guardians first? Because I thought that question, didn't we do that question last week?
No.
I felt like we did that.
We did. Who would benefit the most from the
I thought we've been talking about this. I know I've given my opinion on it. I thought you had too. Which Guardian do you expect to take the biggest step forward? Which Guardian do you expect to take the biggest step back?
I think we did do that.
I feel like we've done it on and off for a month. But
most of y'all said Oscar Gonzalez.
Oscar Gonzalez was the guy that I most fear a regression, and Stephen Kwan is the guy that I most believe can repeat what he did last year.
I mean, there are a couple of guys in the bullpen that I'm a little worried about because
that's a
the
good point.
bullpen is the least predictable thing in baseball.
Who's the guy you're worried about?
I mean, I think Henchus, especially coming off, he's dealing with an injury here and a shoulder. I'm worried about Karinchak. I know wasn't a rookie last year. Well, maybe technically he still was. I don't think so.
He was not technically a rookie.
Okay. But I am worried about Karinchak as well because he's a little bit of a crazy person, and I don't know that I could trust him from year to year. Bullpens are very shaky. It's hard to rely on bullpens.
Year to year, you
never know.
Never see the success.
Right.
Carry over year to year. There's moving parts. It's tough to duplicate.
It's not that obviously I have a lot of confidence in Emmanuel Clase, but if he struggled this year, you can't you see this all the time. Edwin Diaz, who along with Clase were the two best relief pitchers in baseball last year, his first year on the Mets he was awful. Awful. Yeah. He had been great in Seattle. Then he signed with the Mets, and then he got traded to the Mets. And his first year at the Mets, he was horrendous. And then he bounced back last year, and he was great. So you never know for these guys. I'd be surprised if Clase wasn't great, but in the end, baseball in particular is the most unpredictable sport of any, and the bullpen specifically is the hardest sport to predict. So I have some concerns there, but Oscar Gonzalez, and we talked about this with Zach Meisel last week. You know, his swing is a little crazy. And
big.
He wasn't expected. Crazy's a little strong, but he has some holes in his swing.
Well, I don't think crazy is the wrong word.
Okay.
Because
can you explain why you think his swing is crazy?
Long, but that's not my fear. My fear is his pitch selection's not great.
Right.
And Zach said this, and the first thing I want to do is face a hitter that chases balls. Right. That means I don't have to throw it in his red zone.
Well, and he compared him to Javi Baez. Now, Javi Baez at his best, if Oscar Gonzalez is close to Javi Baez at his best, that's great. Because he was
Wasn't Baez, though? He just chased breaking balls. That was his thing. He would chase breaking balls off the plate.
Sure, he did big time. But he swung at eventually they started throwing him everything out.
Sure.
And obviously I didn't.
Early in his career, it was just like throwing breaking ball outside, he'll swing it.
Obviously last year, because he was on the Tigers, outside of when he played the Guardians, I didn't really see him play that much last year. But he had a horrendous season.
He's the best example of a guy who is basically, I don't want to say he's irrelevant, but he basically affected his career trajectory because he couldn't have plate discipline.
Right.
And it started with the outside curveball with him.
Right.
And it kind of went everywhere else. But with Oscar swings at pitches. He's an equal opportunity swinger. Yeah. He'll go after anything.
Don't you need a guy like that? Don't you need a guy that in your lineup that's going to strike out a lot?
In this lineup,
it won't kill him in this lineup
because there's so many guys that make contact.
But he also has to make contact too. He just does.
Sure,
because that's the way his team plays.
I mean, is it risk reward if he strikes out?
Yes.
If he strikes out,
but if he's
1,000 times, but he hit 30 home runs.
If he's going to hit me 30 home runs, I don't care that he strikes out a lot.
Yeah, but he had 11 last year.
Right, I don't know that he's going to hit 30 home runs. Yeah. I'm saying if he does, I'm okay with the strikeouts because I know that most of my other hitters are getting on base.
Yeah, here's my
putting
fear
the
for
ball
him.
in play.
April and May are critical months for him. Critical, because if he doesn't show the ability to have better plate discipline, then the book is just don't throw the guy strike.
Right.
And make him hit bad pitches, which he's proven, by the way, he can. But he can't do it on a regular basis. But I want to see him. I would rather he strike out looking than chase a ball on the edge or out of the strike zone.
At least consistently. Everybody's going to do that once in a while.
Yes.
I think the thing with Gonzalez is, and we've seen this before with other players like him, you could tell me that he's going to be in the MVP conversation in June, and you could tell me he's in the minors in June, and I couldn't be shocked by either.
I'm with you.
It might be an extreme on both, but I think Stephen Kwan, I know he's not in the MVP conversation, and I know he's not going to be in the minors. Oscar Gonzalez, he could be killing it, and he could be a disaster and be back playing in Columbus.
And what adds to that argument is what he did in the playoffs. Like, I remember the walk-off home run against the Rays.
Oh, my God.
I'd never and I've been to 2 Game 7s for the Indians. I've never remember my nerves being on more edge than they were for that entire game. It was a one-pitch game the whole time.
Yeah.
And I just kept thinking, it's going to be a mistake. Somebody's going to make a mistake. They're going to throw a routine double play ball into the dugout, give a player a base, a wild pitch with a guy on third. I just felt like it was going to be something fluky because everybody had 5, 6 at-bats and nobody was doing anything, and neither team was built to have that player.
That's right.
And when Gonzalez hit that ball out of the park, it changed the way I look at him because the moment was 10 times bigger than he was, and he had already had some really big moments in that series. And he just came up and hit the home run like he knew he was expecting to hit the home run.
Yeah,
why does it seem like that? I don't know how to explain it. Why does it seem like the Guardians have to start over every year? Like, what I mean by start over, like they don't carry momentum from year to year. So
I don't know that anybody does in baseball.
Well, the Yankees and Dodgers do.
Like, it's the momentum.
The Astros do.
The momentum is almost like.
Does that feel like the U-Bull? I don't feel like we're starting over.
I don't know.
Like the momentum with the fans. Like,
with the fans.
Absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely.
Like, why?
Well, that goes back to what I said about the Browns. That the Browns get the benefit of the doubt every year. We're there. Browns fans are there every year.
We're so excited. We go to practice in training camp and we start screaming Super Bowl.
But the people like you and I that are locked, even if we're not watching the Guardians every day, we're locked into the score.
Everything,
we're paying attention.
The momentum is just not there.
That has to build every year. That has to build.
Yeah, with the fans, you're right. It's not there. One of I mentioned this
real quick, Jay. What was it like in
this.
2017 after the Guardians or the Indians at the time made the World Series? Did it still start back
carryover?
up?
No, big carryover because they made some big offseason signings.
Right, they signed Juan Encarnacion.
Yes, and the team was better.
And
we're like, okay, if we can get our pitching
But the
staff.
attendance wasn't up that much.
No, it wasn't.
It was up, but not up that much.
So compare that to the 90s. Now, if you ask me in the 90s, the excitement for 95 opening day, 96 opening day, 97 opening day was Browns-like. And now there's a lot of things going on there. Number one, we've lost a significant number of residents since then.
Yeah.
That's 20 years ago.
That's crazy.
And our population is down significantly. Really? If you measure us against other major cities, it's down more than most of your major cities. The other thing is we had more entertainment dollars for those late 90s years because we didn't have to spend them on the Browns. So we weren't buying season tickets for the Browns, and there was no Browns to distract us.
Yeah.
And we knew that. So we were all in on the team we felt could win it.
And plus,
the Indians.
Not that I'm an economics aficionado, but it seems to me that the cost of living has gone up since then way more than salaries have.
There's probably something to that, but Cleveland is an economically depressed city.
Sure.
We are number one in the country in poverty.
Right.
Which, percentage of residents living below the poverty line.
And the amount of,
which is stunning,
and the ticket prices in the 90s compared to now versus the amount of money people are making in the city of Cleveland then versus now.
I would like to look at those three things. So your inflation line from mid-90s, your employment or your wage line from the mid-90s, and the ticket cost line.
Yeah.
Typically, teams are smart. They monitor the other two, and they set the ticket prices based on what those two are doing.
And the Guardians' prices,
out of the market.
in comparison to other baseball teams, are reasonable.
We're a bargain.
And you can get a cheap ticket in the outfield or whatever.
But the feeling,
but you have to build up that fan.
The feeling when they lost to the Yankees, right?
Yeah.
I remember we
were blowing up when we were doing those post-game shows. They were blowing up.
The fans are here, but they're dormant for 10 months.
That's so crazy.
Because the Guardians have a much higher percentage of casual fans.
Yeah, they do. You're right. But those casual fans become diehards in September and October.
That's right. That's right.
So the conversion rate and the fact that they hibernate for 10 months out of the year. But there's one other thing that comes into play, and I saw this in the mid-90s with the Braves. It's actually winter fatigue. By winter fatigue, I don't mean, oh, God, we're sick of winning.
Yeah.
We're consistently either in the playoffs or in the hunt. If you go back during Terry's tenure, we're there.
Yeah.
In the mid-90s, before they broke through in 95 and beat us in 6 games in the 95 World Series, I was covering that series. So I would go down to Atlanta, and I'd be like, I didn't think I'd ever see this in my lifetime. I'm at a World Series game that's not a sellout.
Yeah.
Their divisional playoff games, there were 10,000 empty seats.
Yeah.
Because the Braves were like, yeah, wake me
Well,
in October.
think about
wake
how
me
we
when it's
were
the World Series.
To a lesser degree, think about how things were here the last year or two with the second LeBron run.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah,
Yep.
you're right.
The
Yep.
regular season, we were like, it's like, who cares? Like,
You know
get me
what?
to the playoffs.
Buckeyes are playing Toledo. What are you thinking? You're not interested in that.
I'm not watching
You're
it.
not going to Columbus, and
No.
you likely won't even watch
I
it
won't watch
if you
that
have
game.
something else to do.
No.
So I'm not saying that we're the Buckeye. You know,
No,
we don't have
certainly
that
not.
kind of dominance, obviously. But fans have become desensitized by making the playoffs. They have one thirst they haven't quenched, and that's winning the
That's
World
all that
Series.
matters now.
And to them, they're like, yeah, this is nice. We'll make the playoffs. The Yankees will beat us, so
Right,
we
or
won't
the
win.
Astros will beat us.
And so they
Yeah.
kind of know what the outcome
There's a
is.
sense-
but the
right.
closer you get to that finish line, the more the hype and the energy of the city builds.
And a lot of fans won't jump in for the whole year because they, like you say, they feel like our ceiling is in the playoffs, but not
Yeah.
winning the World Series. But, Mike, I don't remember if you were here last year, if you had already moved here. I know the show hadn't started yet. If you had moved here, opening day is big.
Always, every
Always,
year.
opening day. We used to always do our show at a bar downtown.
Yeah.
The atmosphere downtown for opening day, even though the weather most years sucks on opening day, not
Yeah.
every year, but most years,
It's kind of it's the celebration of two things.
Yeah.
Spring is here.
kind of.
Yeah, I mean, if you ask most Clevelanders when does spring start, you know, they'll say, oh, March 1st, March 21st, or Indians opening day.
Yeah.
And you're right, the weather we've seen snow. on
More
opening
often
day.
than not, since I've lived here,
It was
opening
really
day
nice
sucks.
last year. I was here, but I just
It
moved
was
in.
nice.
Yeah.
And I walked around because, Jay, you guys did all the WKYC stuff out
Yeah.
there.
And here's the other thing, too. It's a reason to party.
Oh,
Yeah.
And Cleveland loves a reason to party. Like, if March 17th is nice, you know what downtown's going to look like.
Oh, my God.
It's
Oh,
going to
yeah.
be packed with people.
It's insane.
Because it's a celebration.
Oh, Mike's never been
party.
here for that.
Yeah,
Oh,
Mark,
you never-
you haven't
oh,
seen
God.
you haven't seen
I've
St.
not been
Patrick's
to
Day
St.
yet.
Patty's
It's
Day.
bonkers here.
It's nuts. If it's warm,
Oh, my God.
it feels like the Kentucky Derby. But if it's not, it can be a little disappointing. But people in Cleveland love a reason to party. People
Mm-hmm.
anywhere do. But what's crazy here is opening day will be a sellout. And the next day, if it's 28 or 35 and windy
8,000
and cold,
people.
there'll be 10,000 people there.
Maybe.
That's how it goes.
There'll be 10,000
Right?
tickets
Yeah.
sold.
8,000
I don't know
will
if
be
there's
there.
10,000
10,000
people
tickets
there.
sold.
No carry.
I hate that too,
It
but that's
sucks.
the way it is. That's
It
the
sucks.
reality of it.